Hi YouTube, welcome back to another video here on Michigan Frontier. Today we are doing a oil change. Already set up, got my tarp underneath. No, the tarp's not for catching a mess, although it would help with that. Tarp is because everything is wet. It rained last night. So, tell you what I got going on here. I got my 16 quart drain container underneath. Got some tools laid out there. Some oil, filter, and crush washer. Got my Z1 thread-in funnel already set up, ready to go. So yeah, walk you through how to do an oil change on a 3rd gen Frontier. So, first thing we're going to do, we're going to crack our oil pan bolt loose. Oil train bolt. I don't have the factory one in there, but it is in the glove box. I have a Z1 magnetic drain bolt. Got a little bit more magnetism on it than the stock one, so that's what we're going with. Really? Yep, that's already cracked loose. Alright, so that just cracked loose. In case you're wondering, the truck is pre-warmed up. It's cold out here today, so I pre-warmed the truck just to make sure that all the oil flows. The joys of a magnetic drain bolt is that it sticks. Yep. Fun. Unless you yank that bolt out, it sticks and you gotta grab it. So, let me clean my hands off real quick. I always keep some junk rags around that you could use to wipe stuff off with. Adjust that back a little bit and we should be golden. Well, it's not too dark coming out of there, but it's only been 3,000 miles. Not a fan of doing partial. I'm not a fan of doing like the full length of service intervals. I like to do them a little short. And the good news is it's not heavy. It is only aluminum, so yeah. Now your skid plate does have a hook right here, so it doesn't just fall off. Set that underneath. Now the next step will be to take this little access panel off for your oil filter. These are two, I believe, 8mm bolts. Yeah, you guys can see that, right? Right there? Yep. Good. Nope, they're not 8s. My mistake. So they must be 10mm bolts. So you need a 14mm socket and a 10mm socket Move your cover. Set that to the side just like that. And now we wait while that oil pan continues to drain. Yeah, we're pretty much at a trickle now. So we'll let that go just a little bit longer. Oh, in case you're wondering, the oil filter, it's up right there. That's a Mobile 1 filter, but this time around I'm running a Amzoil. Got my Penzoil full synthetic, the one made with natural gas. Always ran Penzoil, I've had good luck with it. It's good stuff. And it's like, well, you got the Amzoil oil filter, why don't you get the Amzoil oil? Because it's twice the cost of Penzoil, and the Penzoil is a very, very good budget alternative to Amzoil. So for your daily driver, that's the way to go. If I was actually going to run this thing hard all the time, yeah, I would probably go Amzoil. But just a daily driver that I'm going to change every 3,000 miles, I can't justify spending $65 for 5 quarts of the stuff. This meets and exceeds Nissan specifications anyway, so why not? There we go. Nice. Grab my drain bolt, grab my rag, wipe it nice and clean. Wipe her nice and clean, and then gotta get this crush washer off. Come on. Yeah, Z1 magnetic bolt helps catch any metal shavings or anything that might show up. Old crush washer, yeah, it's flat. New crush washer, this is actually what's sealing the bolt to the oil pan itself. You cannot reuse these. You're on the risk of it leaking if you do. So when you put this on, the flat side, the thick side here, goes towards the oil pan. So kind of thread this back onto the bolt. Actually, no, I have that backwards. My apologies. The flat side goes towards the bolt because there's a little groove on the bolt itself that sits in. So disregard what I said first. It should look like that. Thin side towards the oil pan because that's what's getting crushed. Flat side towards the bolt because there's actually a groove on here that it sits in. So I'm going to go ahead and reinstall our drain bolt. Take your 14 mil and your ratchet. And we're going to begin to tighten this down. No, that's not 14. Where's my 14?
we're going to begin to tighten this down. That way it's not leaking. So it starts to crush the washer. What I'm going to do is I have a torque wrench. I'm going to torque this to 25 foot-pounds per the owner's manual. Torque wrench is set to 25. Same 14 mil. Stick it on there. And right there is 25 foot-pounds. So that's done. If you don't have a torque wrench, just make sure you get it tight, not over tight, but tight enough that you know for sure that that crush washer is actually crushed. You don't want your oil leaking out on you, so yeah. I'm going to pull my drain pan forward. I go one arm through the bottom, one arm through the side. That way I get a good grip. Crack her loose. There is a drip tray under here on the oil filter housing. It kind of guides the oil where it's got to go. So, good of Nissan to do that. I had an old Jeep that had that on it. Good feature. You want to do this slow so you don't dump all your oil suddenly. All right. Yeah. Give your tray a good wipe. Amzoil. Meets Penzoil. Now what I like to do, I like to take some of the oil and pre-lubricate my gasket. Helps keep the gasket from sticking. And then I'm going to put a little bit of this, not a lot, just a little bit, into my oil filter. That way it gets the filter media soaked, and it partially primes the oil filter housing a little bit too. That way, you know, got less time of dry start. Take this, fit it right back up in my housing. Set that down. Still got a little bit of residual dripping off. That's not a big deal. I'm gonna wipe all this down. See, as you feel the filter start to get tight, you know, just snug it up. Hand tight, you know, you don't gotta crank this down like you're King Kong. Especially where this is at, slightly awkward. Good thing this Amzoil Oil Filter's got a slight texture to it. So, just kind of clean it up a little bit more, get some of this residual off. Yeah, just like that. I don't see any of my oil leaking out, so I do believe we are good. See, I can't tip this all the way up. That's why I got the, when we be installing the extended hood struts, the bottle hits on the hood. Alright, so now I'm going to start it, let it run, let it warm up a little bit. We'll check for leaks. While we're letting the truck warm up and check it for leaks, we're going to go in and reset that. Go to maintenance, oil and filter. As you can see, I've driven 3,051 miles of my 3,000 service reminder. So I'm going to go down to reset. Confirm reset. There we go. It's my third oil change on the truck. You're like, why 3 oil changes? So I got 7,500 miles. Well, I did a break-in oil change at 1,500, and then I did a 3,000 mile change at 4,500, and here we are at 7,500, which is again 3,000 miles. I live in an area where we got a lot of dirt roads, so it gets pretty dusty. So a little peace of mind goes a long way. Also, you can't over maintenance a vehicle, but you can always under maintenance one, and that's where problems happen. We have the panel. We have the two 10mm bolts without losing them. Got that one started. That one started. That's good there. You don't want to make that too tight. It is pretty thin metal there, so don't want to strip it. So all you gotta do, just snug them up. We're gonna go to our 14mm socket and reinstall our skid plate. Which, as you know, you got that hook right here, so get the hook on it. Get your bolt started. such. And that is how you do an oil change on a 3rd gen Nissan Frontier with the added step of skid plate removal on your pro trims. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll get you on another video.